welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes with Freed. I'm your host, Michael Freed. I'm a litigation partner in the matrimonial and family law firm of Berkman, Botker, Newman, and Shine, with offices in New York City, Westchester, and Long Island. And today, my special guest is Yogi Patel of Outside Legal Counsel, LLP. So Yogi, welcome to 5 Minutes with Freed.
Thanks for having me on, Michael.
Sure. So Yogi, what is Outside Legal Counsel LLP and what's your role in the firm?
Sure. So I am the managing partner at Outside Legal Counsel. We are a law firm that serves businesses and executives. We try to replicate the relationship businesses have with their in-house legal department. So if you think about the life cycle of a business, whether it's helping create the entity to drafting the governing documents, such as shareholder agreements, employment contracts, defending against audits, investigations, or lawsuits, including M&A and eventually to dissolution, we can help within most of those areas. I also work with individual executives in the finance, medical, and tech industries who are transitioning between companies. I help during the onboarding and offboarding process.
Great. So Yogi, we know each other from the Accountant Resource Group, ARG. So you know that I'm a matrimonial and family law attorney. When would my clients most often require your services?
Look, if you have a client that has to move or seek employment as a result of the divorce, and needs help negotiating an employment agreement as a result of this life-changing event, think of me, especially if they're getting some type of equity in the company as part of their compensation, there are restrictive covenants involved. That's a great example, as well as, let's say if you have a client that came into a lump sum of money and decides to invest in a friend's company or decides to start their own company. Think of me as someone who could help them document that transaction and protect their investment.
Perfect, I definitely will. So Yogi, what are the challenges that you face in your area of work?
Well, having to provide advice without precedent is certainly challenging, as you could imagine. As attorneys, that's sort of what we rely on as far as our ability to provide sound counsel to clients. And over the last couple of years, with especially given COVID and the shifting landscape with respect to rules spun by COVID, have really impacted employers and employees in numerous ways, you know, from mandates to what their pay obligations are, exemptions. And so if you think about it from that point of view, this is something that hasn't been in place. There's no guidance necessarily, and many of these goalposts have been moving. So advising on these issues can become challenging.
Of course. So Yogi, what's the best way for a prospective client or other professional like myself to contact you?
You could certainly reach me on LinkedIn, you know, and also our website, which is outside-legal.com, has all of my contact information on there, as well as all of the contact information for all of the other attorneys in our firm. So that would be the best way to get in touch.
Perfect, perfect. So now, Yogi Patel, we have now come to the most important part of our show. I can't stress it enough. It is now time for the question of the week. So Yogi Patel, this is your question of the week. You were given $1 million, but you could only spend $1 on yourself. What would you do with the other $999,999?
Wow, that's a great question, Michael. I've given it quite some thought, and as much as I wish I could have spent it on on something different, I would say allocate it amongst groups that are helping refugees from countries like Ukraine, Afghanistan, Syria, and really other war-torn regions. You know, I'm deeply impacted by what's happening right now on the world stage, and you know, the feelingness of helplessness is one that I feel like a lot of people I'm speaking to also feel about this situation. And listen, if money could make a difference in somebody else's life, especially that type of money, then they absolutely, those groups of people definitely you know, need it and deserve it.
Yogi, you have said it all. You are helping employees and business owners in transition one day at a time. And I want to thank you for being a wonderful guest on 5 Minutes with Freed.
Oh, I can't thank you enough for having me on, Michael. Really appreciate it.